And now bringing you that hard, hitting fight analysis, submitting you into paralysis. Josh Thompson head kicking leg to dome, and Big John McCarthy saying, let's get it on.
Hello, everyone. We are live, and finally, I have got my stuff together, I think, and we're ready to go. Josh right now is pinching his head with that damn stupid-ass beanie, trying to get some common sense pressed into there so we can come out with some logical things to talk about. We got all kinds of things to talk about. We got the UFC. We got the PFL. We got people like the GWOAT talking about a bunch of bullshit. There's so many things that we get to talk about. What's up?
I wish someone would talk to you how to use Wi-Fi. Somebody, please. Oh, man. I get it, though. It's not easy when you're traveling, trying to get someone's Wi-Fi. If you're in a hotel, it's the worst. Trying to find a quiet spot to film, all of these things. You know, try to get the right setup. That's why when you have a studio, I tell my kids, do not go in my studio. Don't touch anything. Okay, just leave it alone. Everywhere else in the house, you guys have access to. Okay, go do whatever it is you want to do. Do not go in the studio, please. Leave it alone.
One little thing gets touched, everything fucking starts to change. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's but hey, you know, there's a lot of fun things to talk about right now. You got, you know, obviously a lot of people talking about, you know, the Nate Diaz. Talking about Max Holloway. Hey, that's my belt. Talking about the BMF title belt.
Hold on. How is Nate Diaz talking about anyone? He won't even talk about you or you. It's
good.
I mean, now he's going to go fight 155 pounds? No way.
No way. He ain't making that weight. No. You know, and then Deontay Wilder punching out a mascot, not realizing there's real humans in there.
That's amazing. Come on, hold on. You have to admit, that was so fucking classic because he looked at that thing like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah, and it's exactly what he did.
Well, he did.
There's a lot to talk about. But Dave's got some cool stuff we're going to start off with. You know, the cards, the UFC card this weekend's a little soft. We lost the main event, so they're making some adjustments. We're going to go ahead and talk about some other stuff first. Then we'll get into the UFC/PFL fight breakdown. Then we'll talk about some more news. Take some fan questions. I think tonight will be a lot about fan questions. Getting close with you guys and not cuddling, but we'll get close a little bit. And we'll take a lot of your guys' questions. Make sure you guys join our membership, though. We have a $4.99 membership on our YouTube channel as well as a $1.99 membership. So please join our membership. It's great. All you guys inside the comment section, leave us a comment if you guys are a member. Obviously, we're going to get to your guys' questions first. The $4.99 is the giveaway. Here we are coming up on the end of the month, and we will be doing a giveaway to members only. So join us over there. Also, please use the link down below in the descriptions. For LMNT, this weekend I was at my UFC gym in San Jose. At my UFC gym, LMNT sponsored the event and came and had a vendor. It was awesome, man. They did a great job sending over so many packets of LMNT packets and sparkling and giveaways, everything. So it was awesome, man. Kids had a blast. Everything was great. So I want to thank them so much for working with the UFC, with my UFC gym in San Jose as a visit. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and talk. What do you got for us, Dave?
Yeah, do you want John? You want to kick us one off for Bobby Atkins? He has a question for you. With Strickland suspended by NSAC, is he able to fight outside the UFC? Hey, sorry, the US. My bad. Sorry on that one.
Okay, all right. Absolutely not able to fight outside of the UFC. He's under contract, but he's also not allowed to fight anywhere where there is a commission because that suspension from the Nevada State Athletic Commission carries over to every regulatory body there is. So even the ones you talk about going overseas, you have like the UFC uses the British Mixed Martial Arts Council to regulate the show like they just did in Abu Dhabi. They would not allow Strickland to fight anywhere over there if they were in charge of the fight. So really, you know, is it a matter of Sean's not stupid enough to fight outside of his contract? That would be, no. That would be the absolute suicide. That would not be a good thing. And he really.
Wait. Let me interrupt you. Does that apply to any type of fighting? Boxing, karate combat?
Yes.
It applies to all of that.
Yeah. Any kind of combat sport. He has
Slap
been
fighting? Is that
suspended at this
considered a
point.
combat sport? Slap fighting?
Yeah, that's run by the regulation, by the commissions now. So absolutely, he would not be able to compete in a slap fight, and he can't do that under his contract with the UFC anyway. So there's just no, it's a moot
So the
point.
commission is keeping him from making money. Got it. I understand. That's what the commissions do. I got it.
Well, and you're right. The commission's keeping him from making money because he's so stupid. He fucking runs into an amateur cage and punches somebody.
So should that guy who did what he did by doing the whole thing to him and flipping him off, should he get suspended too? I'm just asking because
here's your difference. That is an amateur athlete who is licensed by an amateur association. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is not in charge of the amateur fights in Nevada. So he's not a licensed combatant under the NSAC, while Sean Strickland is a licensed combatant under the NSAC. So they can do something with him where they really wouldn't be able to do something with the other individual.
I think the rules should apply both ways. If you're able to fight,
has nothing to do with rules. Has to do with who's licensed.
Well, he should be licensed if he's going to fight in NSAC. He should be. I don't give a shit if he's amateur or not.
They have given certain sanctioning bodies the ability to run the regulatory aspects of amateur fighting in Nevada. If those people want to go after him, they can, but that's not going to be the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Does the Athletic Commission get an opportunity to look at that athlete that was the one that instigated the thing and be like, you know what, we remember that, we won't license you?
Yeah, they absolutely, trust me, they could.
They should.
Everything can come back in time, and everyone looks at this and they go, well, it's not fair right now. Trust me, not everything comes about in a quick fashion, but eventually karma comes around. And it could be that the athlete is, he applies for a license to compete in Nevada as a professional fighter, and they go, no, you're going to have to show us something based upon the fact that we remember this from what occurred here. We didn't like what you did as far as and all that stuff. Yeah. We want you to act as a professional, and right now, we're not going to give you that license. So he will lose out on a fight. So, hey, it happens.
Yeah, I mean,
but Sean, let's be honest, and I understand Sean, and I understand why he was mad. You can't do that. You've got to let the people that are in charge deal with that, handle it. It is not your place to run in there and start throwing punches. You can't do it.
Okay, that's
well, hold on. You can do it, but you can't do it and think there will not be repercussions.
I mean, I wish Sean would have finished the job, man.
Well,
that's what you get.
I'm sure he could have.
Yeah,
but
there's just no doubt. Like, I think we've gotten so soft these days. You can't be going around doing shit like that just because you think someone's gonna protect you. Nah, dude, nah. There's no keyboard. There's no fucking desk between us. Okay,
hold on.
Real life.
Again, Josh. I'm not telling you that I think Sean was wrong as far as being upset with the guy. I'm telling you his timing was wrong. Okay, because you want to go and later on confront that person. After everyone has left the cage, go ahead. Don't do it in the cage.
If it did it in the back, like in the locker room, is that still considered part of the commission? Yeah,
it's probably going to be bad.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit. I like Sean. I like Sean.
But I love Sean. This is not against Sean. It's just you can't do it.
No, I get it. I think that guy should have also been suspended. I know he's an amateur, whatever it is, whatever the organization is. I mean, I wouldn't recommend using him again. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Tough enough.
Whatever. For whatever the tough enough is, right? It brought more eyeballs to their tough enough because of that.
Trust me, they those guys went and said, "Hey, Sean, thank you."
Yeah, exactly. Yep. In the process, Sean sitting on the sideline, not being able to make any money though.
He wasn't. Was he scheduled for a fight?
It still takes time, but it's indefinitely, isn't it? Right now, they haven't made a decision on
it's indefinite. Hold on, it's indefinite until the next commission meeting, which is in a month. So it'll be sometime in August. There will be another commission meeting, and his thing will come up, and they'll decide if they're going to punish him or not, and then he will, with his punishment, whatever it is, if it's nothing, then he's right back, able to fight at any time. If it's a month long, 30-day punishment, they may say time served, but all depends on his attitude when he goes in there, because he cannot go in there saying, "Hey, that son of a bitch did this and pissed me off, and that's why." Don't do that.
So funny.
Humble.
Funny how these commissioners, right? They act like fucking, oh, I'm the king up here at the top, and then I'm gonna control your career and totally fucking ruin it for you because I fucking feel like I'm the shit. That's why. It's ridiculous. Bunch of scumbags. Anyways.
As the person that has had to deal with them, you've been licensed by them.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get it. But I think in these situations, they should have said, "Hey, man, you fucked around. You fucking found out." That's what you get. That's what you get. They're doing that to Sean. Unfortunately, they should be doing the same thing. It should be equal justice. Hey, you instigated this shit. You fucked around, and you found out. You got popped in the mouth. Okay, you're both, whatever the suspension is for Sean, suspension should be for you as well. I don't give a shit if you're an amateur or not.
It doesn't matter as far as they don't want. You're missing the point. The Nevada State Athletic Commission cannot penalize or suspend someone that is not licensed in their state.
And I'm telling you that
current license.
And I think it's stupid that he should have to be licensed, whether it's amateur or not, to fight. Period. That's it. They should be licensed, period. So then they have something to take away from him if you're going to do stupid shit like that towards other fighters.
But Josh, how can you suspend someone for? How can you suspend someone for just making like silly faces?
Emotion.
It's called unsportsmanlike. John talks about it all the time.
Hold on. So you're going to sit there and tell me that then, like, Nate Diaz should be suspended when he does the double fingers while he's got someone in a triangle?
John, he is allowed, the guy that he's fighting is allowed to punch him in the face for doing the double fingers. He just
agree with you.
A triangle he can't get out of. So look,
that's why he did the double finger.
Nate can talk shit all he wants inside the cage. That's the great thing about when I was fighting him. I had the opportunity to punch him in the face. Yeah. And we don't like it. And then in this situation, Strickland wasn't able to, but then he made sure that he was able to. I love that.
But Strickland wasn't the fighter. It wasn't Strickland's position to go in there and throw punches.
You're trying to. I know you're playing devil's advocate right now because I know when we talk off air, you're like, "Yeah, I'm glad that guy got This is the thing. I want you guys all to know when I take a position like this, John on the commission side will fight me tooth and nail because he wants to make it seem fair, okay? Because he wants to be politically correct. But in the reality, when we get off, he's like, that fucking guy deserved it. He fucking fucked around and found out.
I'm being honest. I will not lie. I do think, hey, you want to do that? You deserve someone punching you in the face.
Absolutely.
But I am going to tell you that I think that Sean has to be smarter about you can't do that.
I absolutely agree with you in that situation. I think but like I said, I feel like if you're going to fight at all, you should have to, whether you're an amateur or whatever it is, okay, you need to have, if you're going to fight inside a cage and a promotion is going to put it on, whether it's amateur or not, you need to have a license so they can have something to hold over your head. If you're going to
once again, there is an organization that has him licensed. It is I believe it's the ISKA has him licensed. That could be Corey Schaefer, who's in charge of the ISKA.
Yeah, I'm going to give Corey a call then.
You go and give Corey a call and tell him, hey, I've fucking had it with this bullshit. He needs to be fucking taught a lesson.
They should schedule a fight between Sean and him. A real. We should do under an overpass bridge bump fight.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe under a park bench.
I'll bring some Burger King, fucking some Jersey Mike sandwiches. Go ahead, John. Fucking smoke his ass. Oh, geez.
It's all good.
Anyways, look, I get it. The guy got all emotional because he got a win over one of like Sean's teammates or something like that. I get it. You're all excited. You're pumped, but let's live in the real world, buddy. Like Chris Curtis and fucking Sean Strickland would fucking obliterate you. Be respectful. Calm down. Okay. It's easy.
Calm down.
All right. What else you got for us, Dave? Any guys? If you
Yeah.
guys are the questions, you guys have super chats. You guys line those up, and we'll get to them as soon as we possibly can. What do you got, Dave?
Yeah, so and talking about Nate Diaz a minute ago there, he put out a tweet saying, "This guy cool, but he keeps wearing my belt." Very in Diaz fashion, kind of alluding to the idea that he wants to get this Max fight. He's obviously made comments about wanting to come back to the UFC anyway. So I think knowing that he will not come back to a title shot, maybe this is the next best thing for him. What do you guys think?
You said it earlier. He's not going to make 55. So what fucking way are you going to fight Max Holloway at? Like you're not
205,
making
obviously.
55. He's not making 55.
Max wants to fight at 205.
Max will fight anybody anytime. He'll say like I'm down. 170, cool. I'll do it at 170.
He would.
He absolutely would. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Nate, the contract, your manager has the contract. He's still waiting for you to sit down and talk to him. He can't seem to track you down. You've been running scared for a little bit. We sent you over some ideas, and it seems like you keep trying to avoid the situation. So in terms of fighting with me, we'll find out, man. But the Max Holloway situation, I'm not going to lie, John. I wouldn't mind seeing the fight.
I wouldn't mind seeing it either. I think it actually would be fun, but I don't think it'd be a good result for Nate.
No, it wouldn't be. No, he is 40 or almost 40. Yeah. So, I mean, buddy, you're stuck fighting old people like me.
Yeah.
So, jump on the bandwagon.
And just think about it. If he fought you, he'd be the young man.
I know. That's hilarious. Even though you don't look it, he looks old as fuck.
Damn.
Jeez.
Damn, he'd be the young guy.
He is 40 years old. He is. And there's no way he's 6 foot. He's got to be 6'1", 6'2", somewhere around. He's taller than his brother.
6'2".
Yeah, he's closer to 6'2". He's taller than his brother. His brother's 6 foot, 6'1", I think. So look, I don't have anything against Nate. I like him a lot, man. I think he's great for the sport. I think he's great for this industry, period. The MMA industry, the boxing industry, all of that. I think he's great.
I agree.
I would love to get this thing settled up. So, there's been conversation with his agent, my agent, that type of thing. So we'll see what happens. I know he's out here bugging for this. He wants to try to get back in the UFC. Right now, it's a weird feeling. Like you got to find promoters. That's the thing. Has nothing to do with whether you want to fight somebody or not. You got to find a promoter to put it on. And right now, I mean, it seems to be the UFC right now is the promotions that's doing the most, not just in MMA, but like also too working towards boxing. So when he left and fought Jake Paul, he kind of shot himself in the foot, not being able to not getting that win. Had he got that win, there might have been a different possibility. And then getting the Masvidal win didn't really do much for him either. No. So Masvidal is in the good graces of the UFC. Still has fights under his belt. He could possibly still come back and fight for them. Nate is not in the good graces right now with them. So I don't know. Maybe they'll get something settled up. Maybe he will come back. He will not come back at 55. So the Max situation at 55 is not going to happen. Now Max fighting at 70, I could see that happening.
All right, but let me ask you a simple question here. You bring him back. Who does he beat?
John, I don't think he beats anyone. Okay. There's some fights though that I wouldn't mind seeing. Are they the 55 fights or are they the 70s? Because you're thinking he's gonna have to make 70.
70 for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's really. I mean, look, you can have him fight. You can have him fight Leon again. Or, where I'm at. I mean, like somewhere in that mix there.
Hold on. Except for one punch, that wasn't a close fight though.
No, you're right. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Colby's been calling him out. Colby has called him out.
That would be one I'd watch.
You know who I thought? I'd watch him and D-Rod.
Yeah.
Just West Coast gangsters.
That's what that's just no NorCal versus SoCal.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, there's nobody else in there.
Hold on, think about this. That long time ago, I'm not sure you were fighting at that time. I'm not sure you remember it. You might even have been there. But there was a kind of a gang-related thing down in the desert when you put people.
The ultimate athlete.
There you go. Yeah. Probably not a good idea.
No. Yeah, you have D-Rod. You've got. I mean, I know it would sell, but it would probably be a boring fight. It would be him and Colby Covington. It would sell.
It would just be Colby trying to take him down and him trying to stay on his feet. So
that's about it. That's all. Or him trying to chase the guillotines and the triangles and getting his face punched in from the bottom. So I don't know. Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say like a Jeff Neal would be a good one, probably.
No.
Jeff Neal murder him.
Jeff Neal would.
Joe Barnes, like those kind of guys would be. Like a MVP one could be an interesting one. Like there's some like people up his
Did
age.
he
I'm
just say
thinking more because they're his age as well.
Yeah.
And just like the speed's not gonna be there.
Yeah. The only person that I would see would be D-Rod. I'd put D-Rod. Yeah, maybe a Leon, only because we've seen kind of a little bit of that, but he's not the same
I've seen
fighter. Yeah, I've seen it. I would just say D-Rod would be the only one.
So what happens with him and Max then? So why are you guys so against that? If
I'm not against
let's say
It would have to be at 170.
right.
That's it. I'm not against it. I actually love the fight. I think it's a great fight.
No, I'm being honest. I don't think it's a great fight. It's not a great fight. It'd be a one-sided fight. It would. Max, I'm just being honest.
Really?
Max is way faster than Nate.
Yeah.
He moves a lot. Nate doesn't do well with people that move well. Like even you have movement that caused him problems throughout the fight. Okay, and that's when he was young and he wasn't slower. And so I'm being honest. I look at that and it's a matter of Nate Diaz. How long can he last without Max just cutting him up like he's got a razor in his hand and it being stopped on cuts?
Yeah, I mean, Nate's the longer fighter. He's the bigger fighter in a 25-minute fight.
A little bit longer, but not much.
I think enough. To keep him at bay a little bit. And the other thing too is I think we've seen with Max in the Ilya fight is when he does have to move a lot from pressure, that he will slow down a little bit. Now that was at 45. This is not a 55. Not like we talked about, not the same fighter at 55 if you have to move this much. Also, Nate doesn't chase after you. He doesn't keep the constant pressure. Sure, he walks after you. He doesn't turn and like cut off the cage. He's not cutting you out. He's literally just walking around in the circle, just chasing you. Nate's got power at the end of his punches. He doesn't have any power in the middle there at all. So the slapping, the reach, the range. I mean, I don't know, John. I'm not ready to count Nate out on the situation. I'm obviously leaning a lot more towards Max at 170. It would be just fun. I'm thinking about just fun. I'm not thinking about he's making a run to anything else. And in a 5-round fight, Nate's one of those guys. Like he's been known to have great cardio. He's been known to break people.
He's got great cardio. No doubt about it.
He's been known to break people as the fight goes on.
Yeah, Max is always a guy that people out cardio.
No, John.
No.
I know that supposed to be like a gotcha question because it was.
No, it's not a gotcha. It's you're saying look at he out cardios people. Well, he's not going to out cardio Max. It'll be even.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but you're also not taking into consideration the weight does have a factor in terms of out cardioing people. And we've already seen with Max when he went up to 55 and didn't put the weight on properly, he got tired and he took some big shots from Dustin Poirier, in the first fight. So if he does the same thing and take a fight again at 170 and fighting a bigger guy, he will have, I think, some issues with the cardio and the conditioning. The size will be a factor if he doesn't put the weight on properly like he did the second time around trying to fight at 55. He's a big body. Nate is a big body, 6'1", 6'2". He's big. I know he's not fast. I know he doesn't he's not definitely not fast, but he also doesn't put the pressure. He doesn't walk forward and make you exhausted and tired. But if he does get on you and hang on you a little bit and get on your neck and doing all those things where you use your big body to your advantage, he may have a shot, may have a chance. I'm giving him this much, John. Just fucking go with me on this, please.
Giving him this much.
Yeah, I'm giving him the effort at 170. There's no chance at 55. No. Not even. He's not going to even try to make the weight.
No.
So, what? There was more to this there, Dave?
No, really, just the potential Nate coming back for the Max Holloway fight. I'm seeing down here where we're talking hypotheticals, right? We're not talking about real news here, apparently. And Dana's also said he loves Nate and he's not closed the door on it. So I don't think this is like an unrealistic hypothetical. I think there's Nate making his case for a fight that makes sense. Like, do you guys think this is a case for a fight that makes sense? Like Dustin versus Max, when you talk about like, does a fight make sense? Like you could almost say it doesn't make sense because what's the point? But Dustin wanted it on his way out for the BMF belt. You can make anything make sense, right?
No, this does not make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense because first off, Max Holloway doesn't need a win over someone like Nate Diaz to make people go, oh, this guy's really good. Second off, Nate Diaz cost a lot of money. He would have to take a huge pay cut for the UFC to even consider putting him in that kind of fight. Because if you're the UFC, what are you going to use Nate for? It's to try to promote your younger fighters and get a win over him so they can sit there and say, look, he's got a win over Nate Diaz. Okay, that says something. But they're not going to put out the kind of money that Nate is going to want to fight someone like Max Holloway, where there's nothing there for the UFC to benefit from.
I think you're being negative. I think you're being negative on this. Yeah, you can be negative.
Actually, I think John's on point.
Yeah, I am.
No, okay, you're no, you're not.
Oh, I am.
No, if I'm bringing Nate back, I'm gonna do one of two things. I can agree with you that they'll bring him back for the younger guys to beat him. But if you're looking right now in times of what I can bring excitement to this sport, because there's not a lot of it going on right now. Look at the card this weekend. Okay, what can I do to bring more eyeballs to the sport, especially with all this stuff going on with the contract deals with whether it's Netflix, Amazon? They need somebody that brings name value. Bringing him back right now is I think it'd be a good move for them. You got Max. Look, I'm not saying that he's coming back, but I said the potential of a Conor matchup for number 3. I'm not coming back.
But that would make more sense than Max.
Okay, John, I'm not stuck on Max, though. I think you're just focused on one thing. I'm focused on multiple other fights. Him and Chandler would be a fucking fun fight. Those two guys just beating the shit out of each other with no fight IQ. Lovely. Okay, I'd love to see that fight. These are fights that I would love to see, that I think the casual fan at home would be like, fuck, let's tune in to watch Nate Diaz and Michael Chandler. Let's tune in to watch Conor's fucking disaster right now, but let's watch those two guys do their third fight. The Max fight, I'm not taking it off the board. I wouldn't take it off the board. I even said the Colby thing only based on the fact is because Colby will sell the fight, Nate will sell the fight, and the two of them they play the perfect heel. They've been perfect for marketing if it's a Netflix deal or whatever it is. I'm talking about what brings the UFC money and eyeballs. Yes, we're going to get into this. Is the entertainment business. Not everything needs to make sense. And that's kind of where I'm at on bringing him back. I think it's smart that if they did bring him back right now in negotiations with the new TV deal, it'd be smart on their part.
It's costly.
I mean, look, John,
it just is.
Yes, it is. How costly is it? He can run. Like, you don't have to fight, dude. Like, we're just fine. We're just fine without you. I'm over here pitching Nate Diaz to the UFC because I enjoy watching him fight, him and his brother both, but I enjoy watching him fight. And I think in this time frame of negotiations, it'd be smart for them to bring him back.
Okay.
Tell me, am I wrong or am I right?
First off, I always like watching Nate. I love Nate. This has nothing to do with me not liking Nate. I'm looking at it, the business side of it, and it doesn't.
Salt Poppy is what we're gonna start calling you. Salt Poppy, Salty Poppy,
Salty Poppy. You've got to look and say, when you bring somebody like him back, how much is it going to cost you? And where's the benefit for you? I'm not here just to put Nate out there in a fight and pay him. I want to make something off of it that's going to benefit my promotion.
You're telling me that these guys, the fucking master of PR and marketing, can't fucking make any money off Nate Diaz? Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
I didn't say that.
You said it's good. You said, oh, I've got to pay him. No shit, you got to pay him.
I've got to make it worthwhile, is what I said.
The dude brings eyeballs.
People don't just throw money out. When they do that, their promotions don't last.
Because the UFC's going somewhere all of a sudden.
I didn't say the UFC. That's why the UFC's where it's at. They make it to where it's benefiting them.
You sound ridiculous right now.
No, it's
gonna benefit them having Nate Diaz on the roster in negotiations for Netflix or Amazon or YouTube.
Netflix doesn't give a shit about anybody on their roster. They don't care at all. They don't even know anybody on their roster.
Do they care about views though?
Yes.
Yeah, and those are the guys that bring the views. So they do care about guys on the roster then. They do care that Conor McGregor's still on the roster. If he wasn't on the roster, they
care about
a little bit different.
They don't know who's on that roster.
Right, but when you can go to Netflix and say, look, Sean Strickland brought in this many views on this pay-per-view, that we book Sean Strickland twice a year.
You better bring Conor back because there's no one that's even close.
That was a bad example, Sean Strickland.
Yeah, it was a horrible example.
but Sean does bring eyeballs to a lot of the media stuff, right? Like which is one thing. I know that's on its own, that's separate, but when when you're going and presenting your case to the outlet, and you're saying, like, you show Netflix, like, hey, we do 4 of these cards a year. We put these 4 names on these 4 big cards, and these 4 big cards bring in this many views. That's this many potential new viewers for Netflix, blah, blah, blah. Like, the whole sales pitch. Of course they care about who it is, because you're not just going to say, oh yeah, I'm just going to throw Neil Magny on there against freaking whoever.
What's wrong? You don't like Neil? Neil's fighting this week.
Okay, but like, tell me Neil's gonna sell Netflix. Tell me Neil's gonna close a Netflix deal.
Look, I'm going to be honest. There's only one guy that the UFC has that has done $1 million pay-per-views that they still have. That's Conor. Okay, when you look at everybody that's on there, Max has had good pay-per-views, but not the $1 million pay-per-views, and that's because it's become so difficult. And I'm not putting anyone down for that. It's just that if you're Netflix, you're going to want the big names that they have, like Conor. And I'm going to want Conor twice in a year because he brings eyeballs.
But if you're also Netflix, you want new subscribers and retaining subscribers, right? So you want people that are new people that are going to come over because of the UFC, and you want to retain them by having strong enough cards every single week, or at least once a month. So like, you don't have to have Max Holloway selling 1 million pay-per-views. You just have to have Max Holloway bringing new subscribers to Netflix, and $85 versus $12.99 a month, whatever it is
$24.99.
It's substantial. It's not that much.
Look, I want to go back to where I feel like you say, hey, you think Netflix knows who Nate Diaz is? They absolutely do. And if they don't, and they're in the negotiations with the UFC about who their fighters are, that guy needs to know who their fighters are. Like, hey, who are the guys on the roster that actually bring in? Izzy, we know, brings in good numbers, not million, but
he brings in good numbers.
He brings in great numbers. Nate brings in great numbers. Connors brings in
Alex brings in good numbers.
Alex brings in good numbers. They're going to beat those fucking dead horses with a stick.
That's okay.
And that's what my point was when I was talking about bringing Nate back. I think it's important for them to bring back people that, hey, we have these guys available. Okay. Maybe they're not going to be fighting the best guys in the world, but they'll be fighting the guys that we know will bring eyeballs, that are exciting fights. The Max Holloway at 170, sure, I like the fight because I think it'd be a fun fight. Not good, maybe not good for Nate, but it'll still be a fun fight. The Michael Chandler and Nate Diaz fight.
That to me, is a better fight.
Thank you. I'm glad I made that fight for you.
That's a good one.
And then obviously the Conor one is still lingering there. There's 3 fights right there, but I would say just the 2. Let's just say the 2. The Chandler and then the other one. And I like the Colby one, even though it's not going to be, probably would never be a great fight, but the marketing up to it would be fun. There's other fights also to be had there, and then I think at the end, when you get done with the two of the fights that we just talked about, the Conor and the Chandler fight, what you do is you just say, okay, look, who's the young guy that I can get to fuck you up, and then go ahead and move on. And that's what they're looking. How can I build? The routine. What can I do to build off of this guy being older? But let me get those 2 fights quickly onto the Netflix season when we first open up to bring more eyeballs to Netflix, showing that we're on here, whether it's at Netflix or Amazon or YouTube or Facebook, whatever it is. So that would be my approach if I'm the UFC, bringing Nate back and then pitching him like, hey, these are the fights that we're thinking for you. Be ready to sign those contracts. And he's so difficult to deal with. Trust me, I'm figuring that out right now. So what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's actually hop into UFC and PFL and do those first, and then we'll hop into some more news and fan
Before
questions.
we do that, though, make sure you guys subscribe to us over on OnlyFans. Check us out over there. It is free. If you're listening to us right now from OnlyFans, we want to thank you guys for continuing to subscribe to us over there. We partnered with them over 2 years ago. It's been almost 3 years now. Had a great relationship with them. And like I said, their platform started to be a sports content platform. Obviously, COVID changed that, and everyone knows the direction in which it went. But there are still a lot of athletes on that platform. You got Formula One racers on there. You got pro surfers. You got a lot of MMA fighters, Demetrius Johnson. You got us. We are the first podcast they ever worked with. So please subscribe to us over there. It is free. We give you guys a little extra content on that platform, which we will be working on later today. It's called our OnlyFans Fan Favorite Fighter of the Month. which we will drop before the end of the month. Every month, John and I pick our OnlyFans fan favorite fighter of the month, and we post it over there on OnlyFans, only available on OnlyFans, so check it out. People, it'll drop before the 1st.
And guys, right here, if you go over your OnlyFans right now, you see this post right here. You guys can drop a question in the comments on this post, and I'll get to it. I'll get to one question from each person towards the end of the show on this post. So if you haven't done that yet, head on over and do it.
Yeah, head on over, drop us a question, please. What else you got for us, Dave?
Let's hop into UFC here.
All right.
UFC from the Apex in Las Vegas coming up this Saturday. That's going to be, as you said, we've had some dropouts and stuff, but we got Tatsuro Taira taking on Hyun Sung Park. It's actually a good fight. It's got it should be a fun fight to watch. It just doesn't have the name value for people because they don't know, either of these guys have not been in the UFC that long. Park comes from the road to the UFC, which they do, which is kind of like the tough. He's had a couple of fights in the UFC, and Taira has come in and shown that his grappling is fantastic. It's actually a well-matched fight. It should be a fun fight, but not the norm that people are looking for as far as main event in the UFC.
Yeah, John, Park's got five fights. There are the 5 fights in the UFC, but like you said, road to the UFC.
3.
Yeah, you don't really call those, fights in the UFC, even though
those are like tough fights. The same thing. The tough fights are not part of their record.
But he's got 5 fights and then all 5 finishes, which is remarkable. A couple TKOs, a couple submissions. I mean, very well-rounded fighter, but then watching him fight Taira is going to be a big step up in competition for him. Taira is good on the feet, good on the ground, just crafty all the way around. Also, we showed in his last fight, he can take a shot. He can take some shots, and he's a dog. He's someone that will still be there. So this is going to be a good fight for both of them. Park is going to be dangerous, but Taira's got to make sure you can't overlook him going, hey, I believe he was supposed to fight Al-Bazi, correct? I think he was supposed to fight Al-Bazi. Al-Bazi got hurt. Yes. So in that situation, you can't think to yourself, look, this guy's nowhere near Al-Bazi's level. I'm going to walk right through him. I had a good camp. I'm ready to go. Different styles of fights, different mindsets, different everything. You were preparing for one fighter, and then the other fighter comes in, has a different mindset, almost like I have nothing to lose. So you have to fight him accordingly. So Taira's got to be very careful and cautious. Go out there.
He's also coming off of his first loss. His loss to Brandon Royval was the first loss of his career. So that might affect him a little bit too. A lot of things going on here.
We will see. We will see. You got Rebecca versus Chris Duncan.
That's a really good. That's a good fight. Like Rebecca's a brick wall. He comes forward. He throws big heavy shots. He's got good stand up. He's got a good chin. But Chris Duncan is absolutely a dynamic fighter. He is good. He is someone that you cannot ever take and you look and go, oh, I'm not worried about him. He is someone that has proven himself to be outstanding. So I think this is a great fight. This is one that you look at, and again, it's not the norm for a co-main event in the UFC. I'm just being honest, but it's a really good fight.
Yeah, see, John, I look at Rebecca and Duncan. I look at Brenner and how do you say his last name? Ribovics. I look at these 2 fights.
Ribovics is good. He's fun to watch.
Those 2 fights, the co-main and then the one right below the co-main, both those fights should be very good and entertaining in terms of a back and forth battle, big shots being taken, and kind of just an exciting matchups, I think, to kind of carry this card a little bit. But then also, too, you got Neil Magny down here on the bottom, Zaleski Dos Santos, very good fighter, and fighting someone who's obviously a little old in the tooth, but still his body style, his length still gives problems to people in Neil Magny.
Look, you can't take anything away from Neil, but you're right. He's getting long on the tooth. He doesn't take a shot the same way as he used to. His grappling is still outstanding, but Dos Santos' grappling is damn good too. Yeah. And his stand-up is really good. Now, it's the length of Neil Magny that can be the difference maker here for him. If he can keep himself on the outside with Dos Santos, he can do well. But when Dos Santos gets inside, it's going to be a little bit different. It's a little more difficult for him. He's going to end up having to clinch a lot. And how much does that work for him or against him? It's a real question. He's getting up in age. It's just part of being a fighter and near the end of your career.
Yeah, John, the other fight that I'm looking forward is Trishan Gore versus Rodolfo Vieira.
I agree. I think that's a really good fight, and it's a question mark fight because we all know how good Rodolfo Vieira is on the ground. He's a world champion in jiu-jitsu, but he has really come along in his stand-up. So it's not that he's diving for takedowns all the time, but Tristan Gore is freaking good as far as his takedown defense. Very physical, very strong. He hits hard. He's just got to bring that fight a little bit into that second round area where Vieira many times starts to get a little exhausted. He's a big guy at that weight, and so his ability to lose weight and hold on to his cardiovascular sometimes doesn't mesh up well. But Gore is he's a tough guy. He just has moments in fights where you look at him and you go, you lost your focus there. You made a mistake here, those kind of things. But he's a really talented individual.
He's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
He's a fun fighter to watch. And I think this will be, if he can stuff the takedowns and make Vieira fight on the feet a little bit, start to make him a little bit tired. That we've talked about Rodolfo Vieira. He seems so big for the weight class at middleweight.
He is.
And so he should be a 205 pounder. I think he would fight better at 205. I think he cuts too much weight. But then if I see him against some of these other 205 pounders, he's kind of that tweener. He's not as big. But that could work to his advantage, and it could not. Because let's be honest, when you get up into the 205 pound division, not a lot of them are great grapplers. So you could take really, when you're looking at this, and you're absolutely right about Vieira, he's kind of a tweener because there's that 20-pound difference between the middleweight and the light heavyweight. If you're going to look at a middleweight that could jump into light heavyweights right away, it would be RDR. René de Ridder could do that because he's got the frame to hold that, and he's done it. He's even gone to heavyweight before. So you need that kind of frame, long, that'll match up with those guys because all those guys are big. Absolutely. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk, and we're going to go ahead and move right on to the PFL. PFL's got a card this weekend as well, and some good little matchups on this card too. John, you want to go ahead and start that off?
Well, we got Logan Storley, who came from Bellator, taking on Thad Jean. Thad Jean got a split decision win over a guy that you and I both know in Jason Jackson. A lot of people didn't believe that he should have gotten that, but he did. Logan Storley has had a couple of good, tough fights to get himself into the finals. This is an easy fight if you're looking at the way it's going to go. If Thad Jean is able to stop the takedowns of Logan Storley and make it a fight on the feet, he's going to win this fight. If Logan Storley is able to utilize that great wrestling that he's always had and reshoot time and time again and get those, at least get the 3 takedowns and try to hold him down and beat on him, then Logan Storley is going to win the fight. So it's really who is able to implement their game plan and enforce their will on their opponent.
This is a UFC 1 through 3 fight. UFC 1, UFC 2, UFC
it really
3.
is.
The stand-up versus the wrestler / grappler positioning. So what I would like to see more out of Logan. Go ahead.
But that is actually, he's good with his defensive wrestling.
He is. But so was MVP.
He's strong.
Yeah. So was MVP. That's the thing with Logan. Logan can wrestle the shit out of you. What he's got to do more of, he's got to get busier with the elbows now. Okay, like we had elbows in Bellator. He didn't utilize them as much as he should have. I think now, understanding that the PFL has elbows on the ground now, he should be utilizing them a lot more. He needs to get after it. Like that's the one knock on him, is it like throw caution to the wind, man. Let the striking go. The elbows, the big shots. You can wrestle the shit out of this guy, but the more shots you throw on them, the easier the takedowns will come. And so what happens is when you get so caught up in hanging onto the legs, that's all they have to defend. So then you're constantly having to work even harder. If you're letting strikes go, it makes the takedowns easier. That whole up-down position is you get up, I throw strikes, and then as you go to retaliate, I drop down on the legs and scoop the legs back out, put you back down. It's just you to react. And Logan, he does it at times, just doesn't do it all the time. And almost like as if he's afraid to let the hands go and the punch go because he doesn't want to create so much space. Thad Jean, fast, long. You can tell he's got some power. He's got some pop. He's just fun to watch fight. So he's going to bring the action. He doesn't care if he gets taken down. Is this a 5-round fight?
Yes.
Yeah, that's even more difficult for Logan because as this fight goes on, it could be even more difficult for Thad though too. It could be. I don't know if it will be. It depends. If he gets taken down early and often and gets beaten down a little bit in the first 2 rounds. But we saw he recovered pretty well against Jason Jackson and later in the fight. So very impressive performance by him. And to keep wrestling it the way that Logan's going to have to keep this fight on the ground, it's gonna be a fun fight to watch. I'm excited for it, but it is a little throwback to UFC 1, 2, and 3, where you have stand-up versus wrestler/grappler. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk the co-main event. This is going to be a great fight. Jesus Pinedo versus Movlid Khaybulaev.
Khaybulaev has won the PFL's tournament. Pineda has won the PFL's tournament. You got 2 guys that have, been the champions there in the PFL, now matching up against each other. And again, completely different styles. Obviously Movlid has got his wrestling style. He will stand and bang with you, but he doesn't want to stand and bang with Pinedo for long. That's not going to be a smart way for him to get a win. Pinedo has shown that he is very calculated, very calm, very cool when it comes to fighting. He doesn't throw a ton of shots, but when he throws, man, he throws with power and he hurts people. At 145 pounds, he has got power that most people don't, and he puts people to sleep. So this is a really interesting fight. This is you really are not going to find a much better fight, at 145 pounds than the way this one matches up.
This is 5 rounds also, correct?
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, these are all 5 rounds? Or just
not all.
2? Yeah, just the top 2, I believe. Yeah. Movlid, though, after he took some time off after winning the tournament, dealing with some injuries, I believe, and then decided he was going to retire because of the injuries. And then he got healthy, and then the new format, I think, of the PFL kind of sparked his interest. And he came back. Then he had the fight with Jeremy Kennedy, and he almost lost that fight.
Yes, he did.
That was a very close fight. Jeremy Kennedy wasn't able to stop, I think, the takedowns kind of a little bit in that 3rd round.
Jeremy Kennedy put it to him in the 1st round.
Yeah, it could have.
And then you got to give it. Movlid turned it around in the 2nd round. So
yep, just a great performance for him to dig deep and get through it, Movlid. But Jesus Pinedo, since Movlid left, Jesus Pinedo's been the champion or been there in the finals fighting for that PFL championship and to win the tournament. And that's what he's done. So now we get to see the 2 of them get after each other. This should be a fun fight. I think the longer the fight that goes, I think the more it favors Movlid. From the wrestling, the pressure, almost like a Logan Storley versus Thad Jean. But with Pinedo, I don't want to say he slows down. He's still there. He's still present. He's still in your grill putting shots on. But Movlid just seems to have a lot of that control from the top position and does damage as well.
Yep, I agree.
So, next fight.
Yves Landau from France taking on Asel Adjouz, who trains in Ireland. He is a guy that came from Bellator. So did Yves Landau. Both these guys are exciting. Landau is one of those guys. He's got the like the parkour stuff and the breakdance stuff going all the time. He's a hell of an athlete. He's getting a little older now. So, and Adjouz is a guy, fantastic stand-up, and has really worked on his ground, his wrestling, and his ground game. Has become very proficient at it. He is a sniper on his feet.
Yeah, it should be a fun fight. There's gonna be a lot of action. But the only thing with Landau, though, right, is that he's a little small.
Yep. Well, hold on. This is 145 pounds, not 155 pounds.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I just saw that.
He's not so much the smaller guy anymore.
Got it, because he was fighting at 55 for a while.
You're right.
Yes. This should be a fun fight. Landau being very explosive, good attack.
Fun to watch.
Also not afraid to shoot takedowns. Not bad from the top. Not bad from the top position. He's explosive. He's fun, John.
Yeah, he throws a lot of flying knees. He jumps up in the air all the time. Not always the smartest move, but always fun to watch.
Look, if you're looking through this fight card, man, Jordan Newman's always fun to watch fight. He's 7-0, undefeated fighter. He's fighting Abdul Baset Asaya. And then you've got also all the way down. I'm going to give a little nod to my boy Kyle Driscoll, making his PFL debut. Or I don't know if this is his debut. I'm not sure if he's fought there or not. But he's with the PFL, or he's back with the PFL. I can't remember. He's fighting Hussein Kata Maga Mayov. Sorry. That's a long one.
Say that again fast.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. He's fighting at lightweight. He's fought at featherweight before, but he's making his return here at the PFL at lightweight. So good striker. He's the guy that I was telling you. I think you guys have listened to the show several times. I brought up the Corey Sandhagen situation where he was out training in Denver, and he was there training with Trevor Whitman. And he's like, man, this little skinny kid about 5'11" was piecing me up. he goes, I asked him, he's like, who's that guy? His name's Corey. And Kyle Driscoll goes, yeah, man, he's pretty good. And they're like, yeah, he's good on the feet. And then he saw him a couple months later in the UFC fighting and just lighting dudes up. So he's like, whew, man, thank God I wasn't just getting my ass kicked by some small guy, some 135 pounder, some bantamweight, right? So good for him, man. Kyle Driscoll, he's got good wrestling. I believe he wrestled at and they came up together in Oklahoma. Him and Kyle Crutchmer, they wrestled opposite schools in high school, and they I don't know if they wrestled against each other. They're more like rivals, but yeah, he was a good wrestler in high school, and then he came over to AK and trained with us over there for a long time. So one of my main training partners for a couple years. Always good to watch him fight. That's gonna wrap up our UFC, or not UFC, but our PFL talk. And we're going to get into some news. Podcast Dave's got some news. So but before we do that, I want to say, hey, guys, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Please hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up and the bell and notifications. John and I will be dropping some extra shows. At least, I mean, I will. I'm not sure about him right now because he's on the road. But we're struggling to put this show together sometimes when we're on the road when we're both traveling. I understand the pain, man. I understand the pain. Hotel Wi-Fi is the shit. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you guys for continuing to support us after all these years and continue on, man. Let's go. What do you got, Dave?
Yeah, so I want to get your reaction to Masvidal saying that Justin should not fight Ilya because he's going to leave him a mess. Yeah, his exact quote. I know all the effing Bud Light drinking Americans love Gaethje, but bro, you're gonna get this guy effing slaughtered and concussed worse than before. He's gonna leave there looking straight like Homer Simpson.
Damn, those are rough comments from another former fighter, man. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear when people that you probably have looked across the cage from, or people that you've seen inside the cage fighting guys that you fought, or just guys you've kind of grew up watching fight. When they say things like that. I mean, George's not pulling any punches, but I think the reality of it is that you start seeing when someone's, getting towards the end, you don't want to see them fight someone who's at the top, but he's right there. But Gaethje's right there at the top. He hasn't been able to get over that hump. So Masvidal, having trained with Ilya Topuria and worked with him and even talked about him, I think a long time ago before Topuria started making his run at the title. She said, hey, man, this kid, he's good. He's got good hands, good rest, and all these things. So George Masvidal saw what was in Ilya Topuria early. And a lot of us, we're just figuring out along the way as we're watching. So I understand where he's coming from. But look, as a fighter, you always have to take that chance.
Oh,
you have to. For a title shot, you always have to take the chance.
This all comes down to, look, I'm going to turn it around. A lot of people looked at Masvidal when he was fighting, and then they were going to give him the title fight against Kamaru Usman the first time, and they fly him in because it's COVID and everything. And there's a lot of people telling him, "Don't take that fight." Did he take that fight? He took that fight. Why did he take that fight?
Money
and a chance to win a championship.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he go into that fight thinking I'm going to lose? No. He went into that fight thinking I'm going to beat his ass. And it's the same thing that Justin Gaethje is going to do if he gets a fight against Ilya Topuria. He's going to go into that fight thinking I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going to knock him out. Is he going to do that? We have to see the fight to find out.
Yeah, that's why you have to fight the fight. Look, anything can happen when you're fighting those top guys, right? And when both guys have the power that both these guys have, Gaethje isn't going to what I'd like to say about Gaethje is that he hits you with shots that a normal boxer is not going to hit you with. So Topuria is going to be out there trying to do what he does, slightly move offline, hit you with his uppercut, his left hook, and his overhand right. He's going to try to hit you beautifully. He looks like a world-class boxer out there against a lot of these guys. But Justin Gaethje is what was that guy that used to break dance inside the boxing ring, right?
Oh, I know, yeah.
Team Ahmed or whatever. Him. Yeah, those two guys, they were hard to deal with because of the way they fight. Not that Gaethje dances all around, but simply put, the punches don't come from the same angles that you're used to training for.
Look, as simple as it gets. You can go back and look at Muhammad Ali was an undefeated fighter coming back to fight Joe Frazier, who was an undefeated champion. I got Joe Frazier, who is 5'9". Muhammad Ali is 6'3". I've got length, speed, everything. on Muhammad Ali. Everyone, styles make fights, and Joe Frazier was a hard style for Muhammad Ali. It wasn't that he couldn't get past it. He could get past it, but man, he had to fucking basically give his life to get past it. And you look and you go, you don't know, and it's exactly what you're saying. One guy's style can be just absolute torture for another fighter, while they go to the next fighter, and that fighter can just eat it up. It's just styles make fights, and that's why we say it. And it could be that Justin Gaethje is exactly what you're saying. He throws things from different angles. He throws things off of using his kick and everything. He does things a little bit unorthodox, but man, he's effective, and he's been effective against a lot of really good fighters. And I'm not saying that Ilia Topuria can't beat him. He might beat him, but I would love to see the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this would be an opportunity if you're going to fight Justin Gaethje to see a little bit more of Topuria's wrestling and grappling. Because I understand we probably won't. I'm just simply saying, like, if you threaten that against Justin Gaethje and you're able to get, the first round on the ground and do some damage, it opens everything up on the feet a little bit easier as the fight goes on. So I don't know. Look, I want to see that fight. And if you're Justin Gaethje, there's no reason for you're going to always take that fight. It's for the title. That's what we're here for. That's what you're doing this for. That's what you put your body through, all these camps and all this running, whatever it is. You've done all this for one reason, to win that title. And so Justin Gaethje's right there, knocking on the door. Ilia Topuria is either going to take it or he's not, or the UFC is going to, sidestep or whatever, do the shuffle and see what happens. But I'm interested in seeing that fight. I understand what Masvidal is saying, but that's why we fight. That's why we fight the fight.
But then the other part is, look, George Masvidal is absolutely, free to have his opinion, and he can put his opinion out there. And that's his opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. What else you got, Dave?
All right. Next one here, I wanted to get your take on was Islam's comments on Topuria being the pound for pound number one. He basically saying it's all marketing just to get excitement around their potential fight. So, the kind of speculation around that fight has been kind of up and down with like Islam going up. Where would it happen? Would it happen at 70? Would it happen at 55? Is Islam going to come back down? Blah, blah, blah. Islam says it's marketing. They did it on purpose to hype up the fight. People already have interest in this fight. They're doing the right thing. We will fight for first place. So kind of confirming the fight's going to happen.
I disagree. It's not fighting for first place. It is fighting for first place, but it's not. I don't think the fight's going to happen necessarily. My thought is he's got to win the title first.
I was going to say he's got to beat a very tough fighter in Jack Della Magdalena.
Yeah, and so like I said, I've had some conversations with Khabib on this back and forth through text, and he honestly believes, and I believe the same thing. JDM is the harder fight. He's the more difficult fight for him. The size does matter in this situation. It's a 15-pound jump.
Sure.
And so dealing with somebody like JDM who's got good hands, he's tough to take down, he's tough to hold down, all of those things. This is a whole new challenge for Islam. Doesn't matter what you've done to other guys that have fought at 170 inside the gym. This guy's the champ in that weight class. Those guys inside your gym are not the champ. Doesn't matter how good they are. You have to remember that he's fighting for the title. He's fighting the best welterweight in the world, or at least a lot of people believe so. So if you're fighting this guy, he's better than all those guys you train with in the gym. So this is a huge step up in competition for him. And I also think it's a different style of fight that he's going to have to fight for him. The Topuria fight, it's going to be a lot of wrestling, a lot of taking down. Now he's going to have to do that with JDM as well, but he's going to stand a little bit. He's going to trade a little bit. He's going to hang on him a little bit. He can do all those things. With the Ilia fight, it would feel like big guy versus little guy again. And I think it was good for him to go up, new challenge, new people, and without having to catch the criticism of, oh, you're fighting another small guy, another 45 pounder.
I don't think he would have gotten the credit he deserves if he beat Topuria, and Topuria was coming up from 145 to 155. I don't think Islam would have gotten the credit that he would actually deserve for beating a guy like Topuria, based upon just the fact that, he came up from featherweight.
We already saw that with Volk. Volk was the guy that everyone called the GOAT at 145, and that he didn't get the credit then. What makes you think he's going to get the credit now for beating Topuria? People weren't even giving Topuria credit after he beat Volk because Islam had just beat him. And then they were like, kind of even after the Max situation, there were still people. I was one of them going, I don't know. He made the cut back down. The chin wasn't the same. I was second guessing on whether Ilia Topuria was that good. The Charles fight definitely won me over. The Max fight did kind of sway me a little, all those things. And I think Ilia Topuria is a fantastic fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him whatsoever. I just think that for Islam to jump up 15 pounds, to fight for a new challenge, to get the second title, there's a lot of pressure to get that second belt right now, especially in this new MMA world where everyone needs to have a second belt to really just say that they're one of the best. He'd be one of them. So he's got his work cut out for him with JDM. He definitely can't be looking down there at Ilia going, hey man, yeah, I'll see you after this fight. You cannot do that.
He should not be even bringing up Topuria's name.
No, but this was good though, because John, this is what we said. It's marketing. It was good that I thought it was justified as well. Not just marketing. I don't know if that's what he's trying to say. It was justified. Ilia Topuria has got 2 titles. Islam does not. I thought if you're gonna leapfrog someone, I've got 2 belts. You don't. That's the only reason why I could leapfrog you. Now, if Islam had won the JDM belt before Ilia, and then Ilia won the lightweight title, I would have said, no, you should have left Islam where he was. I should have left him at pound for pound. But he didn't. Ilia won the title first, the second title first. Now it's up to Islam to win his second title. If he wins that second title, I think they leapfrog him over Ilia again to create the marketing. Absolutely. They're the best in the business to do it.
All good.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to be doing. I thought it was good, but there's a reason why I think that they did that for him. It's because he doesn't have a second title, whereas Ilia has 2 now. So
true.
Either way, I'm excited if that fight does happen. If Islam does beat JDM, gets the second title, I'm excited to see the Ilia Topuria / Islam fight, and I think it should be at 170. Maybe we can see Ilia Topuria win a 3rd title, be the first person to ever do it in the UFC. So that's something to talk about. Let's get that chitter chatter. White House lawn. It won't be the main event, but it'll be you can have a Spaniard and a
Russian. You're gonna have a Russian and a Georgian Spaniard.
No,
that can't be the main event.
Oh man. Well, we gotta get some Americans to win, man. Marab's now American, so maybe we'll have him do it.
Marab is an American, and you got Kayla Harrison.
Yes, we do. I think ideally it'd be Kayla, but we've beat the White House lawn fights to exhaustion. So let's go ahead and move on. What else you got, Dave?
All right. On the topic of Islam, I wanted to get your reaction to some comments made by Michael Bisping and Paul Felder about Topuria and dodging Armin. Hold on, let me just bring it up on here so that everyone else can see it. All right, I
want everyone to go watch The Naked Gun because Michael Bisping is in that movie, and so am I.
Oh, nice.
We had a great time doing it. So it's coming out now. I had people calling me and said, I saw you in the trailers. Yeah.
But John Addict's in it too, isn't he?
John Addict's in it.
Bruce Buffer,
Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman, Brandon Moreno, and Joe Benavidez.
Nice.
We had a good time. It was fun.
All right, Dave, what do you got? Let's listen to it.
All right, let's play it. Yep.
I mean, the guy's the #1 contender, and to say that you would rather relinquish the belt than fight him is, come on, man. We're getting a little carried away, and we've talked about this before, where these guys in this generation of fighters, when they get to this top position now, are so willing to jump around weight classes and try to deny fighting guys. That's not how it fucking works, man. If the guy's #1 and the UFC says this is the guy, you're the champ, you're holding that belt, that's who you fight. I mean, it's just,
I agree.
If you're the best and he's not on your level and all this kind of stuff, then prove it. Just go out there and prove it. I hate that. And I'm not, again, I agree with you. I'm not saying that I think that he doesn't think he could beat him, but then why not?
Why say that you would relinquish the belt? I'm the biggest fan of Ilia, right? I love how he carries himself. Every interaction I've had, he's so respectful. He's always a monster inside the octagon. He's technically brilliant. He's a class act. He's awesome. But why is he saying that? I think he's just saying it to get under his skin. But do you think he actually, I mean, he said he would, and we're going to hold him to his word.
Yeah, I'm going to take him at his word at this point. But I hate it. I saw that, and I was like, come on, man, here we go. here we go again. Now you got a champion who's just looking for the biggest thing. And it's like, look, the UFC is not going to try to put you in a position that's not going to be a big thing. And I think you're getting into a position, Ilya, where you are the thing. They don't need the other guy to necessarily be the thing. You're the guy that people want to see. So you could be fighting some kid they pull off the damn street and people would tune in to watch it. I mean, the guy's...
He's exactly right, John. Like, Ilya Topuria is in a position now where you're the thing. It doesn't matter who they put in front of you. You're the draw. That's what we're trying to do right now.
But let me ask you this. Do you honestly believe that Ilya would drop the belt rather than fight Tsarukyan? I don't. I think he is just saying stuff to like throw barbs and get under the skin of Tsarukyan. And look at, no matter what, when someone sits there and says, I'm not fighting you, I'm not even going to give you a chance. You can sit there and say that all you want, but you really don't have the ability to decide who you're going to fight. The promotion's going to decide who you're going to fight, or you're going to go away. Okay. So, I look at it as, hey, right now he's playing mind games. He's having fun. Let me poke the bear. And it obviously is having some effect because you see Tsarukyan responding and stuff. But, Tsarukyan is taking it well. He's sitting there saying, go ahead. I'm the champ anyways. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a delay, I think, for the meantime, as the dust settles at the lightweight division. They want to see kind of the guys that are fighting below, who's going to fight below, and then also, too, what's going to happen with Islam and JDM. The UFC is, I think it really is looking at that Ilya Topuria and Islam fight if he beats JDM. It'd be foolish for them not to. And they would probably want to do it right, probably one of the first fights going into their new deal, their new TV deal. Sure. That's probably what they're looking for is like, hey, how can we match this to be a super fight? So do they take the chance? Do they take that chance of giving him Arman Tsarukyan between now and the time that Islam fights? I think that's kind of where we're at right now. The UFC is going, hey, we waited this long for Conor and Chandler. We waited this long for John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Do we wait on this and just say like, hey, let's drag this out until we get to the TV deal? Because if JDM wins, and let's just leave Ilya Topuria on the side and be like, you guys may have to fight each other. I don't know. Maybe Gaethje and Arman need to fight. I don't know. I'm spitballing off the top of my head, guys. If you guys listen to this, don't think I'm over here saying like, dude, they should. No. I'm just spitballing off the top of my head.
This is Gaethje's whole point, though. Whether it be fighting Paddy Pimblett, fighting Arman Tsarukyan, he's like, no, I'm not into fighting anybody else. I want to fight for the title, and I don't blame him. But there are options out there, and you're right. When you're the UFC, you're sitting there saying you're trying to look into the future and say which is going to be our big fights. But you could put right now Islam Makhachev against JDM, and either way that comes out, whether if Islam beats JDM or JDM beats Islam, you still have a great fight sitting there for Ilya Topuria.
I don't know. I'm
not saying it's as big, but it's a great fight.
Yeah. I think with all the things that come with Islam, and this is no bias, just, the Khabib background, the storyline behind it all,
sure.
Russian versus,
I agree with you. I think it's the bigger fight, but you're not losing. You still have a big fight there.
You still do, based on the fact that Ilya is going to be trying to go for the third title.
Yep.
But look, I got to jump on the Paul Felder bandwagon. I love listening to him do the commentary. I love listening to everything he does. Him and Bisping both. But he brought up a good point, man. Like, you're the guy.
Yeah,
you're the guy that doesn't matter who we put you in against. You're the one that the UFC is banking on.
That's right.
So you're like, I don't want to call you Conor because you're not doing the numbers of Conor, but we're in a different world. But look, you may do way bigger numbers than Conor come Netflix. They're like way bigger. Good. So I guess my point is whatever he is saying, maybe he is just poking the bear, and maybe the guys are, reading into it too much, going on about this, but you are the guy. Like, give me another guy, John, right now inside the UFC that's bigger than Ilya Topuria. Give me another guy.
The only one that I could tell you right now, is sitting there with a popularity that's close is Tom Aspinall. People like Tom Aspinall
more than Alex Pereira.
Off of the fact that Alex lost his last fight and everything, yeah, I'm going to say that Tom Aspinall's there. But Ilia Topuria he's the guy that you're looking at as, hey, that's the next, one to hold that star status for a while. Even if he ended up losing, it's just the way that he conducts himself, the way that he, gets prepared for a fight, the way he brings family and does things. There's a whole lot that you can do with him, and that's what they're looking at, and that's what they want. That's why they want to keep it that way. Yeah,
I look at that's one side of the market, right? Like I know that people like that, but there's also the people that love the Nate Diaz's who talk shit and are bad boys outside the cage and then bad boys inside the cage. So there's a whole other market for that as well. Yeah. So I agree. I love Tom Aspinall. I've been high on him for the longest period of time, man. I think he's a fantastic spokesperson for the sport.
The problem for them with Tom Aspinall, in my opinion, is they just don't have that fucking nemesis to go across from him since John Jones has left. Whether he has or not.
Well, I saw that Gelatin Almeida came out and said some comments and basically was, I think it was on the Ariel's show. I think it was Ariel's, but he brought up some comments or whatever about it, like saying that that's a fight to make. And you look at Almeida, he is explosive. Look at the way he threw Curtis Blades around in the wrestling department, then he got a little tired, but he threw him around in that first round. You could basically say, I can see how people could say, well, he could throw Tom Aspinall around. He gets his hands on him. He takes him down, control him. I mean, yeah, he could possibly, but that is definitely one of the top fights for him. I could see him being Tom Aspinall's nemesis. I could see that happening.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Dave, what else, buddy? You have any super chats in there, or do you want to go through another news thing?
Yeah, no, let's hit these super chats on YouTube and then hop over to OnlyFans questions. So Alejandro Gutierrez asks, John, should fighters get points taken off ASAP when they grab the cage because that isn't the same as an eye poke or low blow and lose position? ?
You can't just sit there and say because a fighter grabs the cage, you're automatically going to take points, because there's different reasons for a fighter grabbing the cage. If I take, Josh and we're fighting and I pick him up and I drive him into the cage and his hand goes into the cage based upon me, he can't help that. That's not him trying to hold the cage or anything, so to sit there and say, because he grabbed the cage, it's when you grab the cage and it affects the fight, I believe a point should be taken. Okay. But you have to be able to say that it truly affected the fight. You can go back to Derek Lewis against Teixeira. Teixeira got himself up off of the canvas by climbing that cage. That's an illegal use. He should have had, if he didn't stop the fight, I'm taking points away from him because you use it in a way that changed the fight. It got you out of a position. So that's the way that it needs to be. It needs to be, points need to be taken, and they have been recently. They've actually been taken more often from just a single grab, and it should be. It's not an automatic warning. Did it affect the fight in a negative fashion for one fighter? Did someone gain an advantage? Make sense?
Look, I've never fucking grabbed the fence.
Well, I just made you.
I'm just it just comes down to when you grab the fence. I've trained inside a cage and I've grabbed it inside practice. Like, fuck you. I'm not going down because I'm like, I know I'm not getting back up. And I've done it on purpose in the inside practice. Sure. And I've done the same thing when we trained inside a ring. Grab the fucking ropes. Hell no. Like when John Pitch and Kostek used to try to take me down, I was like, get the fuck. There's no way I'm letting go of this rope. There's no way. Just fucking out there fighting for my life. But those are scenarios. There's never a moment when you didn't realize you were grabbing the fence. So I think it should be an automatic point. As soon as those two fingers hook.
Now he's with two fingers.
It doesn't matter.
Josh Thompson is the rattlesnake holder.
Yes.
Because it's the two fingers that does it.
John, you just can't tell me, though, that these guys, they know when they grab the fence. They're using that to an advantage. Anytime, look, if I go to lift and you grab the fence down low so I can't lift you, if I go to take you down and you grab the fence on the way down so I can't take you down, the shit part about it all is that you guys are not allowed to put them on the ground because they never actually hit the ground. So that's a shitty position. So yeah, do what's next. Take the point. That's the part that pisses me off, is that even when you give them a warning in that situation, no, dude, I would have had the takedown. I was lifting and they stopped me from lifting them, that's a fucking takedown.
But
Anytime
hold on.
you stop my momentum.
Stop. You just said exactly what I said.
No, but
No, you just said exactly what I said.
yeah, but you guys don't ever do that. You guys give too many fucking warnings when it comes to grabbing the fence. I'm against the taking the point for the fingers. And I know that has a big effect on the fight. I know it does, but I'm against it because we fight with open gloves. That's the hard part. You know,
Most of the time the eye pokes are based upon defensively trying to
Yes.
keep someone away from you. The guy's coming towards you.
Yeah.
And that's two bodies in motion, the hands in motion, the head's in motion.
Yeah.
It's too difficult to sit there and
yeah, it wasn't like the guy said, fucking like the Three Stooges, like, like it's just not. They don't purposely try to do that. Fighters are not. We are a lot of things, but majority of 99% of us are not fucking cheats. We're trying to win for real. We've put too much into this sport. We're not trying to fucking cheat. We're trying to win for real. And so I look at the eye poke situation is them either being defensive or them trying to land a shot and as they're pairing away or whatever, they go to push away and the person dips into it, right into it, or leans into it. It's a shitty situation. But the grab in the fence thing is full on just intentional. You know when you grab the fence. Automatic. It should basically be an automatic point.
you go.
John, I've never.
It should be an automatic. It should be a point when it negatively affects the fight or gives an advantage to the fighter who created the foul.
If I have you press against the fence and I go to pull you away real quick, and you grab the fence and stop the momentum, should be a point. Even if it's just a little bit.
No, you're just pulling me away.
Yeah, you grab the fence.
Why am I going to grab the fence? I'm just going to turn you.
No, because a lot of people like to grab the fence there to keep their weight against the fence because they know it's harder for you to take them down there.
It is true.
Yes.
I know that, but
yeah.
I'm going to turn you.
John's not turning nobody.
It's a matter of like you're trying to sit there and say that grabbing the fence in any situation gives an advantage where it doesn't. There's times the grab of the fence, it doesn't give an advantage at all. In fact, sometimes it works negatively for him. But when it creates an advantage for the fighter that is fouling in not going to the ground or getting themselves back up, I do believe that the points should come off.
What I'm trying to say just straight outright is that
you're trying to push it to the very end.
You always know when you're grabbing the fence. You fucking cheated. You always know. You don't just go like, oh, my fingers did it on their own. Like I had no control over it. No. The eye poke thing.
Josh, you were right. Most of the time, a fighter knows when they're cheating. Okay, yeah. That's
why I'm not
grabbing inside the gloves. How many times does a fighter grab inside the gloves? All the time, right? Yeah. They know it's a foul. They know it's cheating.
Yeah, I've never grabbed inside the gloves. I grabbed inside my own gloves.
You can do that though.
I know.
You asked me.
Oh, I know.
I told you.
All right, guys, we beat that one to death. Go ahead, Dave. What else you got?
Maximo Miliano Martinez. Why is Nate Diaz ducking the punk?
I'll let you answer that one.
I really honestly believe he's trying to work on a deal to get himself back into the UFC. I got to be honest. It's smart for him. If he can get back in, he should get back in. Like we've already listed some of the guys for him to fight, potential matchups that I think would help the UFC negotiate a TV deal moving into 2026. I think that's smart for him to try to get back there. It may not go well for him over there, but there's fights to be had there. The other reason is, look, no one's there's promoters. The promoters right now are kind of leaving the boxing industry. We saw it with a little bit with the Fanmio situation when it was Masvidal and Nate when they fought. You get the Jake Paul situation. There's fights to be had there. There's the KSIs, stuff, but most of that's in the UK. Nate's not fighting in the UK. He's like, screw you. I'm not fighting you over there. So there's fights to be had, but you got to find the promoter to do it. And do you want to do business with those promoters? That's the next thing. So it's it's hard to look. There was that money grab, I think, right off the back with Woodley and Jake Paul, Ben Askren and Jake Paul, Nate Diaz and Jake Paul, the KSI fights, wherever. I think this new guy coming around, Salt Poppy, he's getting a little bit of a following right now. He's got a big fight, I believe they just announced. I think he's fighting a former MMA guy, I think also.
He's fighting Tony Ferguson.
There you go, Tony Ferguson, that's right. So, got that fight happening, but to be honest, man, they're not making a lot. Like Salt Poppy's making a decent amount of money. Tony's not making a lot of money, so I've seen the numbers. They're just not, is it worth even getting yourself into a camp? If I'm Nate and if you're me, being removed for 5 years, 6 years, like, do I want to put myself through a camp for what I was barely or what I was making or less than what I was making when I was fighting in Bellator, UFC, whatever it is? You want to take 6-7 years off, turn around and then make what you were making or a little bit less of what you were making? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If you can make the cash grab of, the 1.1, 1.4, somewhere in there, if you can get up into those numbers or the high six figures in the 750 and above, then yeah, you could probably have a conversation. But I think right now the industry is not really seeing that. I think across the board, you've seen a lot of fighters that are not really seeing that. So, and that comes from the lack of promotions. There's not enough boxing promotions. There's not enough MMA promotions that are successful enough. Karate Combat, I think, is struggling also right now. BKFC is really the only promotion I think that's really trying to do something different, that is bringing in eyeballs. But even them, not a lot of fighters want to fight BKFC because it's so fucking brutal. They're like, man, if fight one time, like Luke Rockhold's like, fuck that, right? He's like, no, man.
But he got paid a lot of money.
He got paid well, but it's rough, man. It's rough, And then that fight with Mike Perry, that hurt his stock a little bit, And then he went out there and got the win in Karate Combat against Joe Schilling. That helped him a little bit, but I think his stock still hadn't fully recovered from the Mike Perry situation.
But he's got a fight coming up against Till.
Yes, he does have a fight coming up against Darren Till, but he needs this fight. He needs this fight to win. Darren Till is a good fighter. Darren Till's a tough fight for Luke Rockhold. Different styles of boxers. One is very fast and throws straight punches, and Darren Till, and Luke is long but throws loopy punches. So we'll see, man. That's a good fight though. It's a fun fight. I'm happy for both of them on that. But even the numbers. Like you look at the numbers on that fight, they're okay, but they're not spectacular. They're not. So I've seen what the numbers are there that are being offered across the board for a lot of these fighters and these fighters outside the UFC and outside the PFL. And I can tell you right now, if you're happy with where you're at, stay where you're at. So what else?
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. So we're hopping over to OnlyFans now for these last couple of questions here. First one comes from Cris Cyborg, who asks, "Do you think Cris Cyborg, referring to herself in the third person, do you think Cris Cyborg could KO Clarissa Shields at 154 pounds in a boxing fight? Cyborg now ranked top 10 in the world in boxing, 5-0 with 4 KOs, more than Clarissa. Shields gassed in her last fight after struggling to cut off the ring, actually losing the last round in the judges' scorecards."
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take this one. And I'll get killed. I look at Clarissa Shields, and she's done, some really impressive things as far as she won 2 gold medals. Her professional career, if you're asking me, who has she fought? She's fought 1 that I'll go. That was a good fighter. She's too heavy, just being honest. She's not working. You can look at Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor and look at who they are trying to fight and what they're trying to do for women's boxing. And they're doing a great job. And they're creating, because Amanda's got to come up to Katie, and Katie's got to kind of come down to Amanda. So they're doing that to put on a high quality championship fight between 2 of the best female boxers out there. That's what you do when you want to be called the very best. I look at Clarissa, and Clarissa basically eats her way out of, fighting anybody. She's fighting in heavyweight. I believe right now, Josh, there are 18 other, or there's 18 total heavyweight women boxers in the world. And most of them don't have over 5 fights on their career records. Okay, what is that telling you? The quality is, which a lot of heavyweight things are, it's down. So you're beating nobodies. The last fight Carissa had, I watched it, was like, oh my God, it's horrible. And you look and you go, nobody cares about you fighting these people, but they would care if you fought Cris Cyborg. So let's take a look at Cris Cyborg and what she tried to do to fight Clarissa Shields. She offered to fight Clarissa Shields at 147 pounds. That is a welterweight, weight for her. It's a little bit above what Cris normally fights at. It's way down below what Clarissa is fighting at. Clarissa turns it down. And that was in boxing. She turned it down. She says, I can't get down to that. Then Cris agrees to go up to 154 and fight her at 154. If you're going to tell me that Clarissa Shields doesn't have the ability to get herself down to 154, you're a liar. She's carrying a lot of extra weight. So she could get to 154. If she really wanted to fight Cris Cyborg, she could get to 154 and fight Cris Cyborg. But no, she didn't take that because there was, she couldn't get so much bigger and she would have to lose and stuff like that. It's like, you're making excuses. Then Cris Cyborg says, look, we both fight for the PFL at a certain point, right? We both fight. It would be easy. We have the same promoter. We'll fight in MMA. And we'll do it at 155 if you want, which is, a lightweight in MMA, but it's a weight that like Kayla Harrison fought at and everything. PFL would do it. No, won't do it. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight MMA. All right, I'll tell you what. I will fight you at any weight in MMA. You can be whatever you want. We'll fight at any weight you want. So now what more when you've got a fighter in Clarissa Shields who's walking around, is fighting her last weight. She cut weight to 174, and you have Cris Cyborg who's at 145, and you won't take that fight at any weight. She's giving you at any weight you want in MMA, and she won't take it. What does that tell you about Clarissa Shields? This whole GWOAT thing is nothing but a manufactured bullshit fucking title that she's given herself. She's not, the greatest woman. She's the goofiest woman because she's not fighting to be a legend in the sport. She's fighting to fight people that are way below her skills set so she can get another win, another belt. It's the problem with boxing. I just look at it and say, she doesn't want to fight anybody good. She absolutely doesn't. She's talked about fighting Cyborg. She doesn't want to fight her. And she wants a lot of money. She's talked about fighting Keith Thurman. Really? I wish they would put that fight together. I wish. I would buy it. Just to watch you get beat badly.
Yeah, John, she said something, I believe she was on Ariel's show, basically said, like, I deserve $5 to $15 million a fight. Okay, look, I'm not saying that you don't. Let's just
I am saying you don't.
Argument, John. Let's just say the argument is, then you need to fight the people that are available, that are the best fights for you to fight. The ones that bring the most eyeballs.
That's right.
That means Cris Cyborg. You're not going to get somebody with the amount of experience in boxing, especially at the heavyweight division or whatever division you're fighting at in the females division.
There's nobody.
There's nobody for you to fight. If you want to make anywhere near $5 million, which you won't, even if you fight Cris Cyborg, but you may make close up to $1 million. You may make the 650 to 750 or $1.1 million, somewhere in that mix. I mean, it really depends on who's putting it on and who wants. Look, I've interviewed her at the PFL. I've had a chance to sit down and talk with her. I had 2 other females at the desk with me that sat there. Had never met her before. They were excited to meet her. They walked out of there going, "Fuck, she's annoying. She's annoying. I think I can't. I don't even want to like." They couldn't stand her after that. They went from being fans of her abilities to like, I don't care if I watch her fight.
And this is the whole point, Josh. It's like, you can be that person that, everyone wants to see get beat. Okay, you can, but like, Ali was the one that really started that whole thing. But you knew just by watching what he did off the side, how good he was with fans and how he really had a great sense of humor and he made fun of himself. She doesn't do that.
No, she doesn't.
And the other thing that if you're going to look at least Ali would fight anybody they put in front of him. That's what people want to see. I want to see. I would pay to watch Clarissa Shields fight someone that I say that person has a chance of beating Clarissa. Okay, and if she's going to sit there and say that those people, are not out there, that's not true. They are out there, but she's already basically, in one way or the other, taken herself out of that ability, either by saying, no, I want to stay so heavy that there's no one to fight, or I don't want to fight in that. You spent 5 years trying to fight MMA, and now all of a sudden, I can't do it. You can mouth off to Cris, but you can't fight her, which only tells him, look at this, be honest, Cris is what, 40 years of age now? Cris, if you want to get credibility, I don't care that if Cris is 40. She has won an Invicta World Championship. She has won a Strikeforce World Championship. She has won a Bellator World Championship. She has won a UFC World Championship. And she has won a PFL World Championship. Nobody has the credentials of Cris Cyborg. If you're going to fight someone and get a win against them, what that would do for you, that would take and put Clarissa Shields in a place where I'll give her, she's fought 2 people now.
Yeah. Yeah, it just comes down to if you want to make money, you got to fight the people that help bring the action.
That's it.
And if you're any network, you're any promoter, you're not going to just pay you to pay you. Oh, you're the greatest of all time, or at least you tell yourself that.
You can sit there and say it all you want.
Yeah, it's a self-made title.
What's GWOAT? Greatest woman? Right? Come on.
Oh man,
the goofiest is all it goes with.
It's really
woman.
Yeah, it's what I don't like, and it's funny. I had this conversation over the weekend when I was in California. I have a friend, like a girlfriend, who, when she likes to, when you're talking, you guys are giving each other a hard time, she likes to slap or hit me, and it drives me fucking nuts. But in a joking way, oh, stop it, and I'm like, and we've had these conversations before. I'm like, just don't hit me. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know I did it. I try to explain to don't hit. In this situation, she's that girl that really believes that she can beat up a guy. If I was to tell her hey, don't hit me like that. I'm a man, you're a woman. That's not how this is supposed to be. She would be like, nah, I'll fucking knock you out. She has that type of personality in interviewing her. And it's difficult for me to sit there and be like, you realize
that's called being delusional.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Sean. It's so delusional. I can't believe she doesn't see it. What do you think you're going to get out of the Thurman fight? A fucking ass beating.
You're going to get a concussion.
I could, even if I went down further, I think fucking 48-year-old Manny Pacquiao right now would fucking starch her. It would be embarrassing. Yes. It'd be embarrassing. It would just playing her like a cat playing with their food. Just fucking pop, pop, pop. I don't get it. I don't understand where this mentality's come from. I get being hey, I can do this, I can do that. I understand that, believing in your abilities, but you got to cut it off somewhere.
Yeah.
And when you start asking for $5 to $15 million
to fight who? That's the real question. Yeah.
You said this earlier, and I'm going to run with it, is that you're literally in the WNBA right now. That's exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking that you deserve all this money, but when it actually costs them money to put you on the card,
that's it.
You're not making any money off of you until you decide to fight someone like a Cris Cyborg. And even then, the promotion may not make any money off of you. But at least you can say that you fought the best that were around at that time. Right now, Cris has won that fight. I think you should give Cris that fight. You want to prove that you're the GWOAT or whatever, you should be taking on all comers. Cris Cyborg is willing. She's at any weight. Let's do it. Make it happen. Don't talk about it, man. Be about it. You were saying something along those lines when I met you in Saudi Arabia. She was saying I'm just someone that shows up and I fight and I do this and I do that. No. Well, right now you got someone who's calling you, asking you let's go. Basically out there telling you I'm ready to do it. So bring it. Sign on the dotted line. Give Cris Cyborg the fight. Let's see it happen. Let's see if you can hang out there. Let's do it. You take an MMA fighter against a Olympic gold medalist in boxing. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, okay. I'm going to go back to being a professional and trying to expand, women's MMA or women's boxing. Look at when she first came to the PFL and did her first fight. She didn't make weight. She did not make weight. You look and you go, the fight was supposed to be at 155 and it ended up being 165. Okay.
John, were you around when she first came in? Were you around like the PFL at all during that time? Because both of us were working for the Bellator situation. I had friends that were working for PFL at the time, and they said that she was so difficult to deal with because she believed that like she was doing them a favor for fighting for them. Yeah. That's the attitude that she walked around with. It's like, I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I'm like, do you forget you have Kayla Harrison over here, 2-time Olympic gold medalist?
Yeah.
You're like, it's not the same. Like, why do you expect it? Why do you think that?
Well, they were both 2-time.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm simply saying like one is really like in the combat sports. One's walking around, not an egomaniac. Sure, she's extremely competent. Kayla Harrison is. The other one acting like she walks on water and that you need to basically throw rose petals in front of her so she can walk.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
It is. It's wrong. But we'll see if she, I don't want to say, we'll see if she womans up.
We'll find out.
The fight's there for her.
Yeah. Don't wait too long.
Be it in a boxing ring or in a cage. Cris has given her truly the ability to say, yes, I want to fight. I don't think she's going to call it.
I think it was I think it was Chris's last fight. I think Scott Coker promoted it. Just gave up her last boxing match. I thought Scott Coker promoted it. I thought, let's line it up, man. Yeah. Line it up. You got a promoter that's probably willing to do it in San Jose or in California. Do it. Let's see what happens. Dave, what else you got for us, buddy?
All right, let's hop in these last couple of fan questions here on OnlyFans. For John from Alex the Great, I think let me say here about for John abound there be an external penalty. I don't know what. Yeah.
Should there be an external penalty for what?
Oh, should there be an external penalty card filled out by the referees outside of the cage to include pints? I think it's supposed to say points taken off during the fight for infractions. That way, instead of 28, 27, it could be 26, 20, 26, etc. Has that ever been thought of?
That's what they
do. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what they do.
The points are taken off either one of two ways. The judge takes it off of their scorecard based upon the referee signaling that a point is being taken, 2 points are being taken, whatever it is, or the judge just normally fills in their card, and then the scoring table will take the points off of the cards. But most of the time, it's the judge is the one that's deducting those points on their card. I don't know if that answers it, but I really didn't understand it because I was thinking that's what they do.
Okay, move on then.
Yes, next one.
All right, last one here from Hamza. Why didn't the UFC use the help of Bisping to sign Fedor? He helped Pride resign him in early 2004.
Boss Boone?
That's what he said.
Josh, do you remember Boss Boone?
Is he the tall guy?
No,
the
shorter guy with a brown hair going back, kind of chunky. Boss Boone was out of Holland and Golden Glory gym and stuff. And
was he with Overeem a lot?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. Yes.
And to sit there and say, Fedor picked his people, and and look, I love Fedor. I don't think he was always right in who he picked. He had Vadim was his manager that he used throughout, basically when he was in rings and fighting in rings, and then into Pride. It was Vadim who was the guy who was representing Fedor. from what I've been told, and know certain things, Vadim ripped Fedor off, and then Fedor went to Jerry Millen. He got rid of Vadim. Vadim started M1 Global, and they split from that. And Jerry Millen became the guy that was helping Fedor. Jerry Millen did a good job for Fedor. He got him a lot of money. He was very upfront with him. He helped other guys on Fedor's team. There's people that are going to love Jerry. There's people that are going to hate Jerry, but he was very good for Fedor. And he was the one, he was part of Pride. That's how he knew Fedor, and it worked well. Do I think Boss Boone would have done a better job in getting him into the UFC? Anyone would have been better than what Vadim was doing, because Vadim was trying to negotiate with the UFC to have a co-promotion. Like I said, he had M1 Global, and he wanted the UFC to allow M1 Global to be on their mats and to be a co-promoter of the fights. And the UFC was looking at him like, not a fucking chance in hell. Okay. No matter how much we want Fedor. And look at the UFC at the time was going to pay Fedor handsomely. They were going to give him a hell of a contract because they wanted him. And Vadim talked, he crushed that, put it all into a point where it was never going to work, and then made a deal with Affliction off of that, to where Fedor ended up going over to Affliction, and then finally Fedor went over to Strikeforce.
Yeah, there was a lot more to the story. But yeah, in a very, very politically correct way. You did a good job.
Thank you. I was trying not to
I was about to say, I was like, don't slip up.
Which I do all the time.
Oh shit. But no, yeah, in a very politically correct way. That's a very, very accurate way of describing it all.
Yep.
So, all right, hey guys, but before we leave though, there was one more thing. I want you to pull up that Deontay Wilder video. Can you show that for us, please? But
which one?
It was
which one? He killed a mascot.
I put it in the news.
He killed a mascot.
It's the one. It says Deontay Wilder had no idea there was humans inside a mascot photo. It's right above the Clarissa Shields news.
I'll find it, yeah.
Okay. Before that, go to WayneInMerch.com, pick up some of our apparel. We will be cutting off the Wayne In merch here shortly, though, and opening up a new site here where we do limited drops for some of our product. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, because when we drop the new product, you guys want to be available to see that. So I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. Check this video out.
It's hysterical.
Deontay Wilder.
Not hysterical if you're the mask.
Didn't realize that there's actually real people inside these things, and he decided to load up and let it all fly. So check this video out.
Yeah, hit him right there.
Nougat. Oh, Dave, what if that was you inside their podcast, Dave? Hot nougat. Hot nougat.
A nougat.
Those of you guys that didn't get that, brother, that's what I said that one day on the podcast about talking about Street Fighter thing. And he was like, so Dave made us a shirt, said hot nougat.
That's the best shirt ever.
That was the greatest shirt ever. Yeah, absolutely. That poor mascot, Deontay Wilder, man, has no chill. Jeez.
Deontay Wilder is now under arrest.
Yeah, right.
For manslaughter or mascot slaughter.
Did you see the analyst in the background going,
oh yeah,
holy shit.
Like, holy Christ.
He really hit him. Oh man, the guy's walking with his head down. I can't believe he hit him. They're literally attending him. Look at her in the background. She's freaking out. Like, is he dead? Is he alive? While they're standing over him like, what? Get up, son.
Get up.
If he dies, he dies.
There you go.
That's great. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk, our PFL talk. Make sure you guys tune in and watch the fights this week. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. And John, take us away, bud.
Hey, for everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed. We love having you come with us, and we will see you.